Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Live at 5. We're going to do a quick market update talking about last May versus this May, and it's not looking so bad. You know, it could be a lot worse, I can tell you that much. So good news is that we still have a lot of activity going on, and we have a handful of listings coming up in the next week or so. One hit the market today or yesterday, another one's hitting tomorrow. But in general, let's just hit some numbers, and then I want to share a couple of quick little situations that came up this last week that hopefully can be helpful to you, whether you're a buyer or seller, in knowing how to deal with offers. Okay, so let's look at this. In 2019, we had a little over 1,000 homes that went on the market or that sold in May of 2019. This last month, we were down a little bit, only about 9%. We were down about 9% from last year to this year in the number of sold properties. Okay, the other one is that the number of pending properties that went pending in less than 7 days was down 32% from last year to this year. And so we now have, 575 homes that were on the market that actually went pending in less than 7 days, which means basically that they were a full price or competitive offer. And that's what we are seeing a lot of, is those full price and competitive offers. We see that homes are getting offers quickly. People don't want to be wasting time going in a bunch of homes that they're not that they're not looking, are not out there right now. And so with that in mind, it's really important to know how to handle different situations. This last week, we had someone who was a cash buyer who came in, and you think cash is king. Not always. We had a multiple offer situation, and in that situation, the person came on and they offered $25,000 less than even the asking price. It was just an insulting offer, because why would somebody give up? I think it was like $25,000. Why would they give up $25,000 just to wait 30 days to get the money? It's the exact same for them in the end. And so they want the $30,000 rather than cash. So cash is not always king. Investment properties are different, but when we're dealing with regular offers, that's not accurate. Okay? The other thing is you really have to know that the real estate professional you are working with is super savvy with interpersonal communications. We use text all the time. And there is a time and place to actually pick up the phone and talk with somebody. Hi, Sandra. There's a thing that says invite, but I don't know what that means. It just says I can wave to you, so I will. And what that means is that I'm going to give you an example of where somebody spoke too much and it hurt them, and somebody didn't say, and somebody else spoke basically the same thing and it worked for them. So one of my teammates had an offer from somebody who was another investor, and on the phone, their agent said, "Oh, it'll be an easy transaction. My buyer is an investor, really savvy, da-da-da-da." What they didn't know, because they weren't listening or asking or even thinking about it, is that this particular seller loves their home. And what's going to stand out as a win for that particular seller is the fact that they want someone who's going to love their home too. They specifically said, "I hope I don't have to deal with an investor. I don't want anyone to rent out my lovely home." So that buyer's agent hurt their buyer's chances because they didn't know what to say. They felt like they were selling their buyer by saying what they felt would be good, but it wasn't what the seller or seller's agent needed to hear. Okay? Now let's flip that. That's an actual situation that happened this week. Another situation that happened this week. I had a buyer, multiple offer situation. I talked to the agent many times because this was somebody who likes to talk. So I pick up the phone and I talk, and I'm listening. I'm listening for, where can I have an opening? What strategy do I need to put out there that's going to help my buyer win? What else do we need, right? And in the middle of it, she's saying, "Yeah, this is a family member, and they are, this and that's going on, and so they've lived their whole lives," or whatever, all this stuff, right? It's personal again. That's what I'm hearing. And they really want to find somebody who really loves the home. Perfect. Now I say, which was true, "Oh, that's great. And my buyer, blah, 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 blah." Right? And would your seller like to have a little note from my buyer? Would that be helpful? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so some sellers want the little notes that say why you love my home, and some sellers agents and sellers don't want those notes. So you got to listen. You got to pick up the phone and know when to say what you should say. All right, those are a couple of situations that we came across this last week. What else do we got? Oh, okay, last example of something that was difficult for this week in terms of multiple offers and bids. Contingent offers in this market. When we're dealing with multiple offers and you are a contingent buyer, which means you need to sell your home first, and you're not only a contingent buyer, but you're a for sale by owner contingent buyer, you don't have a really good chance of winning because first of all, our contingency paperwork pretty much says you need to be listed by an actual agent. And it's not, we can work with that, okay? We can figure something out on that end. The thing is though, is if you got to think from the seller's point of view, if you're new on the market and you're having activity, why would you even consider taking an offer that relies on somebody else selling their home? What does their home look like? Did they price it right? Who's their agent? What's the situation? What's their buyer? What's the buyer's lender? So there's all this other stuff that goes into it. So what I do when I'm dealing with a contingent buyer in this market, if they're at a specific price point, I set up all of their criteria and I say, we're going to only show you homes that have been on the market for at least 7 days. Because otherwise, you're wasting your time by looking at homes that have multiple offers, and you're not going to get it. It's just going to upset you. So let's at least until they've been on the market at least a week. And if they're still there, you might have a better opportunity to actually get into that home. So we just set the criteria from the beginning to make it happen. Okay, those are just a couple of things we came across this last week. And good news all around about the market. Any questions, give us a call. Have a great day, you guys.